understand. I can't get enough of your love. She goes, oh, na, 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 oh, na, 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 oh, na, 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 whoa, na, 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 na.
Well, hello and welcome back to SuperCoach Edge. Well, if a score of 185 wasn't the cherry on top of his owner's sides, gee whiz, what an absolute score that was. Now, as a jealous owner, or at least a jealous non-owner, I should say, I virtually have my face pushed up against the glass, drooling, and then being snapped back to reality when I see the lofty price tag hanging from his little helmet there as he stands on display in the SuperCoach trade window as if a mannequin, and a juicy mannequin at that. Now, Liam, I know you're an owner, and you don't need to tell me how good it feels to own him, but please indulge me. How good was it?
It was great. And even better when you have the VC on him. I can lock that away early on a Saturday afternoon.
It hurts so much. And now like another week as well coming up, which we'll get into, of course, because news rolling through that Tim English, the absolute gun that he is just delivering in spades this season for owners. And he's apparently going to be out with an injury, an ankle or thereabouts, or just a heartstring by the looks of it, because he's been in that shit of form. At least it's a reason to get rid of him now. But yeah, Xerri is going to absolutely smash it, which he was going to already, but even more so now.
Yeah, certainly. I think that's a concern for owners. I don't even know what I'm going to do. But Xerri, it's all coming up Xerri at this stage. I don't even know what his final fixture of the season is. But, I mean, the last 3 weeks have been incredible in terms of who he's faced. Scored well, and then he's got a Tim English-less doggies. Yeah, that's the word. And then next week faces Hawthorn. I don't know how they go in terms of ruck, DFS, defense first position, but
they're pretty good. They're giving up quite a bit. They're actually the fourth most they're giving up a quick glance. So yeah, he's
beautiful.
Geez, again, yeah,
exactly.
I'm not going to be able to own him until next year. It hurts me so much.
Insane. It's like he's played, because he played Richmond recently, he's played Hawthorn, Geelong recently, played West Coast recently. Those are the top three in terms of ruck. At least giving away the most points to ruckmen, and then he's playing Hawthorn in the final round. Insane. And even Western Bulldogs give away a positive amount of plus 0.53. 0.53. So it's going to go up with English out. You'd expect it to.
It's all coming up Xerri.
It is all coming up Xerri. Certainly the cherry on top. Anyway, stuck into things. As always, if you're not following us across our socials, this is where you can find us. On YouTube, search SuperCoach Edge, and don't forget to like and subscribe to be notified when our content does drop from week to week. On Twitter, you'll find us at @SuperCoach_Edge, Damon at DamoJ88, and myself at Liam Evans_95. And on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, just search SuperCoach Edge, and you'll find us there.
Very good. Well, with that, shall we get into the first segment as always? And of course, for those people tuning in via the podcast, we are live at the moment on YouTube. So probably something you can tune in for potentially next week. But otherwise, look forward to next year. But with that, Liam, we will ask people to send through their questions and comments throughout. We'll read them out intermittently. And of course, any questions for our guts to know, or just general comments, because who has questions at this time of year apart from who to trade Tim English to? And secondly, where can I get some extra trades? So with that, Liam, let us get into our first segment, which of course is... before we do that, almost forgot. we're going to go through our scores. Jumping the gun here. So let us start with mine. We'll go through ever so quickly. I ended up scoring 2,478. Ranking-wise, I slid down 61 spots to now sit outside the top 4K, which is at this point, I'm just like, meh, I don't really care. I'm kind of over it because we'll get into a little bit later, but I'm actually heading to Bali as of tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that. But ranking-wise, 4,056 overall. In terms of trades, well, none, but there's a little bit of a story here. So it was a week of what could have been for me and a bit of bad luck mixed in. And, of course, with Heaney playing first up, I opted to screen his score off the bench in the midfield. And, I guess given his 3 sub-ton scores, so the reasoning was there. But, of course, his scintillating end to the game saw him score 144, which I, of course, ended up looping. However, what it did mean was making the choice between benching one of McKercher or Walsh without the emergency, because obviously you can only claim the one emergency via Heaney. And, yeah, with that, of course, McKercher came out and scored a 146. And what do you think I did? I opted to bench McKercher over Walsh. So, of course, he sat on the bench staring at me in the face, unable to loop him on. So that was 146 points that, I guess the difference there was 57 points that went bigging. And to make matters worse, I had already traded Dowling to Philippou via a swing. So the swing was via Heaney, hence the reason why Heaney was in the midfield. So a bit of a butterfly effect here. Philippou laid out. So given pretty much all the games have been played, I was made to gobble up Curno's emergency score off the bench of just 17 instead. And at the end of the day, as I said, butterfly effect, if I didn't try and loop Heaney and just played him on field, didn't try to be cute, I would have avoided having to take Curno's score, and I would have been forced to field McKercher and naturally enjoy his big 146. So all in all, it cost me 129 points, which was the difference obviously between McKercher and Curno, and a massive score of what could have been a 2,607. So it very rarely happens where you're looping a player and it comes back to bite you, especially given the looped player scores well. So it's just bad luck end of the season. And yeah, if Philippou wasn't out, I wouldn't have been kicking myself as much. Obviously would have missed out on McKercher's score, but it would have only been a difference of 57 points between Walsh and him. But ended up being that 129 point difference. So Liam, how did you go? Hopefully you went a little bit better than me.
Yes, I did. Didn't do too badly. Scored 2,537. So saw myself go up the ranks 3,171 spots to sit 38,397th overall. It does. I did have one trade. Two trades. I did make one trade. So I traded out Curno because he was giving me the shits with his scoring.
Yep. No surprise.
And traded him to Philippou, who was obviously a late out on a Sunday and really gave me nowhere to go. So I did end up just holding on to him. Couldn't reverse the trade because it was after Curno had obviously started playing.
Yes.
So, and then I think I was just off getting up to Rankin and really didn't want to kind of just make another move just for the sake of it. If that makes sense, just wanted to kind of focus on what I could control. So I did score 25. What did I say? 25-37. Yeah, 25-37 with a donut. So it could have been a big score.
That's pretty good.
Philippou played, or if I, if I had just kept Curno, it would have been one extra 17 points. So yeah. But had I traded to someone else, could have been an even bigger score. Would have been nice. But it is what it is going forward. Did have Xerri as the VC, which was nice to get that 185 on Saturday. I think it was like 3/4 time and he was on 120 or 130 or something. And I was like, okay, we can we can activate the loop.
Yeah, rub it in a bit more. Rub it in
Nice
there. At least it helps you. Like, despite gobbling a donut virtually, you're saying like you still outscored me, and it's all thanks to Xerri and the cherry picker. It hurts. It bloody well hurts.
I mean, across my side, like Dacos high ownership 66, so it doesn't hurt you as much. Everyone scored pretty well. Stewart 76, sort of lower ownership. Walsh 89. English 85, again high ownership. Jackson 81, high ownership. Caldwell 55. So like it was a good round overall. Most of my players turned up, which was nice to see.
Yep. That is very, very pleasing. So a decent week considering circumstances. So you got to be happy with that. But let us roll through before we get into our head-to-head, and then of course the good, the bad, and the ugly. Adam has joined us first up, of course. Just I think his streak of putting in the first comment on our live streams continues. So well done to you, Adam, and always a pleasure to have you joining us. And thanks for your support throughout the season, along with everyone else that tunes in. Jonas. Oh, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Are we able to just block Adam at this stage? Because we're facing off in a head-to-head preliminary final in his league. And I've got to keep
How about the message that he's
close to my chest? I know, look at him going. I can't answer the question, Adam. Sorry.
Yeah. So for those people tuning to the podcast, the message you sent through is Adam said, getting in early for I guts to know every single thing Liam is doing this week. And the reason being, yes, because you're playing off against him in, I assume, the prelim?
Yep, prelim, yeah.
For his family league that you've joined. Yep. Very, very good. He did actually slide into my DMs very early and asked me to ask the question of you of what moves you're making this week, but you're already across it. So,
yeah, I messaged him when I saw that we were in the prelim together. And said, told him I wouldn't be telling him what I'd be doing. Keep my cards close to the chest on the podcast.
Yeah, playing it very coy, and he's very cheeky, cheeky by you, Adam. Yep. Ooh, no one knows. Ooh, surely it's something to do with. Or alternatively, you could keep English and throw him because Xerri's gonna punch out a score that's going to cover English anyway. What English normally scores of like 70, so he's going to score about a 170. Or probably 200 plus, and you'll be all fine.
That's it.
You'll have no idea what you're doing. Global, you've said, g'day there, legends. G'day to you in turn. Thanks for joining us as always, mate. And you've said, oh, how nice. You said, absolutely appreciate all your efforts to front up each week, delivering absolutely amazing content. Well, thank you, Global, and appreciate your effort in jumping on for the live streams and consuming our content, because without you and as you call them, Liam, the you people of the SuperCoach Edge community, we wouldn't be in existence. So we exist for them. Nicole, you've asked me, do you have the coin to trade English to Xerri if you have bench coverage for Kerno? I wish I did, because I'd be pulling that trade like trigger so fast, my mouse would like split in half. So yeah, unfortunately I don't, Nicole. But I would love it if I could.
You know what's frustrating? Just on that,
yeah?
I do have the coin to do that, but I've already got Xerri. Like I can go to Xerri.
Damn you, Liam! You're just rubbing it in now.
So you'd like me to send us cash? As I said, I can't remember last week or the week before. We'll pay for rank.
Oh well, we'll probably a bit of a segue here. Let's get into our head to head before we proceed through to any more questions, and we'll roll back into those. So head to head, Liam, and talking points for, points against, overall rank. Despite the fact that I'm ahead still, 15 wins, you've actually pegged one back again. You've almost halved it, pretty much. 7 wins to you now. So that is 6 wins consecutively to you, or if you want to look at it the other way, 6 consecutive losses to me. And it looks like I am replicating my own mob in Carlton's terrible late season form, which just salt in the wound after seeing their putrid performances of late, and I'm replicating it, which is I'm no better than them. Sack me, Liam. Sack me as the head coach of my team. Pack her in. Differential is 1,869 points. So obviously I'm still ahead, thankfully, on, I guess, the early season form. That's kept me in good stead. But, geez, if the season was to go for another 8 weeks, you would 100% surpass me. So I'm thankful that the end is near. Well, I don't know. You've got Xerri after all. Now, with that, Liam, let us jump into the segment that sums up the wider SuperCoach round in general with the good, the bad, and the ugly. Very good. Well, we've got a couple more questions here that we'll roll through because they are absolutely just rolling in. It's incredible here on a conveyor belt almost. So Jonas, you said certainly the top 3 candidate for SuperCoach content creator MVPs this season. Well, what can we say? Like we show up every single week, don't we, Liam? And put in the hard yards. We get out on the training track, crunch the numbers, the equivalent of SuperCoach, being on the training track, the virtual training track.
Do some thumb exercises to get the trains done quickly.
Yeah, like this one with the old index finger, woo, bit of worm, get it all limbered up. But yes, and Jack, we could be here all night going through some of the questions and comments, but we might reserve them for our guts to know because I assume we're not actually going to have many. And Jack, another supporter of ours, great man that he is, says it is the man, the myth, the legend. How's it going, my friend? Actually, sorry, before we go, this one's applicable. Adam, in response to him asking the question of me to ask you of what moves you're making, he said, "Don't go and throw me under the bus, Damo. Fuck me."
I was actually going to message Adam and say that you told me that and be like, "That's it." Oh.
I've just come clean. I apologise, Adam. He was already across it anyway because he came over for dinner last night. And yeah, I already mentioned it. I may have alluded to it, maybe not outright. Who knows? But Liam was like, yeah. Like, I already know. So you gave yourself away, Adam. You got to play it a bit more coy. But let us roll through good, the bad, and the ugly. So no surprise here with the good. Who could it be? Could it be English? No, I think not. Of course, it is the cherry picker himself. And I reckon this guy is going to be a lock and load option for 2025, showing no signs of slowing down with another mammoth score of 185, with his 2 scores previous to that being 151 and 144. So is he now going to hit 200 plus? If these trends continue, I think so. Special shout out though to Isaac Heaney, who did reverse his 3-week poor run of form to bust out a big 144. So happy with that as well.
Very nice. In the bad column, we have Nick Dacos, and it has been a struggle street for weeks, I reckon, with Dacos. But he scored just 66 in an ordinary game by his standards on the weekend. Not what you want as an owner, but I guess highly owned, so it doesn't hurt you as much. Might also make him a bit cheap next year.
Yeah, the upsides here. You can look at the got to play the long at this point of the season. Look at what you can get value for money for 2025. So a very, very fine point. And for the ugly, Jai Caldwell. Now, Curnow 17 is probably worth a mention here, but being slightly, we'll say, injury affected, even though it was just Carlton as a whole, being shit as usual, we'll give Curnow a bit of a hall pass. But Caldwell's 55. With double the ownership of Curnow, hurt obviously more people and wasn't much better. So a bit of an off game, but I do hear that Parrish is potentially out. Is that correct? Again,
that is correct from what I've heard.
So it might help him, maybe.
It might help him.
Who knows? Yes,
it might.
But, yes, it might. That's a big question. Now, with round 23 on the horizon, of course, we are rounding the bend, about to head down the home straight. Let us jump into trade talk with The Price is Right.
Show me the money.
The price is wrong, bitch.
Yes, for those of you tuning in for the first time, weird time to start, but you do you.
Yeah.
The Price is Right is the segment where we discuss potential trades and trade targets from week to week, and even discuss whether specific players should be traded at all, especially considering no one has trades left.
It hurts. It hurts. But I guess the upside of last week in Philippou being out, if he was playing, it would mean that I have no more trades left, and I would have to hold English. Even though I'd be able to cover him with Jackson, I would be in a little bit of strife because it means that I'd have to use Curnow, who's obviously not playing this week. So I'd be gobbling a donut. So I guess swings and roundabouts, but still. Regardless, I think I'd still prefer to not have English in my team at all, even if he's on the bench, really, at this point of the season. But speaking of Tim English, in the going, gone, to headline things. He's first up. So he's all but ruled out this week with scans showing he's carrying an ankle injury, as reported by Tom Morris. So to be honest, his injury gives an excuse to trade him, given how frustrating his form has been. And with only 1 week remaining, if you have a trade, use it. Use it or lose it. Move him on.
2 weeks.
2 weeks he's out for, is he?
No, 2 weeks remaining. That's what I mean.
Oh, yes. Sorry, yes. Oh, sorry, I meant, yeah, one week remaining after this week when he returns.
Is he?
So
are we sure he's returning after 1 week?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we don't know. Well, Bulldogs is still vying for a final spot, so maybe, but is he really impacting?
Who would even ruck for them now?
Darcy, maybe?
Genuine ruck. Do they have another ruckman outside of those two?
No, don't think so.
Almost like
I think
you would
Lob
need
and Darcy.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's true, isn't it? That bloke. Forgot about him.
Anyway. Yeah, no, move him on if you can. And consider ways you can play it smart. Like, it depends on what ruckman you have. But, like, for me, I've got him. I'm considering whether I move him to a midfielder because I just think that for the next 2 weeks, that's probably going to score better than... And move Jackson into my ruck spot, if that makes sense.
Smart move.
And then kind of bank some points that way, hopefully.
Yep, no, it's a smart move. And how's the message? I'll let you read it out, Liam, from Jack.
Yes, Jack has messaged in and said, if anyone has Tim English's number, I would love to give him a call and tell him to put a fucking effort in. I agree. But it's like every second week he was scoring well. I mean, it's gone now.
Yeah.
There was a stage where it was like good score, shit score, good score, shit score. Every second week he was turning up.
So at least every second week you had something to look forward to. But even now he's gone and dashed that. Like you've got nothing to look forward to.
Useless.
Jack, maybe you get your dad on the old blower. Get him on the phone. Of course, you have revealed that your dad's a manager, of course, of Hinkley and Voss. Maybe pull some strings there and see if you can, get him to get in touch with English's manager and pass the word down the line. Bloody useless.
Just get in touch with Hinkley. Surely. Get Hinkley to give you Jordan Sweet's number, then get Jordan Sweet.
And then just get Jordan Sweet to call Bevo and be like, nah.
Yeah.
How about that second ruck option you got behind English? And just hang up. And then before he hangs up, he's got to bellow out the longest, yeah, boy, and then hang up, just to really rub it into Bevo and confuse him.
I mean, Bevo wouldn't know who Jordan Sweet is, so it'd be a real weird call for him.
Yeah, it would be. Like, who are you? Sorry? You played for us?
Yeah, he's like, did you even go here?
Who are you?
Anyway, next up. So yeah, just trade English. Do whatever you want. Get him out however you can. Yeah. If you can get him to Xerri though, I reckon that's number one option. And then I'd be looking at a midfielder potentially. Next up, we have Charlie Curnow, and he is out with his dreaded ankle niggle that has plagued him since the Giants game, and frustratingly came into the weekend carrying it, yet was played anyway. He has been ruled out for this week, but as with English, if you can afford to trade him, feel free. A trade to this next guy who kicks off our category of get them in will net you some cash if you've got two trades. But also it's an easy just down if you don't have much cash. Yeah.
Yep. Very, very good point. Well, let us talk about that bloke that you've alluded to there, and it is Matthias Philippou. So obviously, a laid out hurt us and many others as well by scuttling our best laid plans. So let us bring him up here. Good old Philippou, the good old Poo, as we'll call him. I guess the upside here is if you need to trade, like you said, a Curnow or whoever else, is a great price, because if he played last week, he would have been more expensive, potentially almost as expensive as Charlie, given his break-even and the like and his output. But break-even heading into this week is 7, so you'd think he will surpass that quite easily. Looking at his recent form line, since coming back into the Saints team and getting bulk CBAs, he scored 112, 101 and 85. And that 85 as well came off the back of a 2-week layoff, really. So it does show against a bit of gives you a bit of, I guess, confidence knowing that even though he had a little bit of a layoff, he's come back into the team straight up and given those CBAs straight back to him again. So do like him. Faces the Cats and the Baggers across his last 2 games. So the Cats, I think they're giving up, just having a quick look here. They're slightly negative points to opposition inside mids. But I think in recent times, they actually have been giving up some points. So I'll just have a quick squeeze. On the weekend anyway, they gave up 114 to Sarong, 105 to Hayden Young. But a lot of sort of lower scores and stuff. Brought down, of course, by Nat 5. So you can blame him for the average being brought down there. But Philippou, do you like him?
And even some other, I agree with that. And I think even some of the other, what do you call them? Midfielders that they've come up against, they're not necessarily great midfielders that have just scored like crap. And that drags down the average as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So just consider that.
Just like Fifey.
Not just Fife.
Not just him, but we just wanted to name him just
not
for gags.
Just him, but specifically Fife.
Fife drains life. Isn't that the motto?
That's it.
You can see his CBAs there, Philippou, just quickly, his last 3 games, 63%, 68%, and 57%. So, looking
Get him
good.
in. Do it.
Do it. What about the next
Especially
bloke?
if it means you're trading out Kerno. Who cares?
Yeah, it's true. Yep.
Seriously. Got
Absolutely.
one good score out of him. Why do I break my rules about trading in key position forwards?
Why do we do that to ourselves, really? It was a bargain, though. It was like, do you say no to a bargain?
And I think so many people
know
were
why he
picking
was
up that it kind of made sense. But anyway.
Yeah.
Next up, we have the other big name, Tristan Xerri. I mean, I don't even know how you're going to trade him in. He's priced at like 640K or something.
Yeah, I know 683.9, so he's
683. Okay, I was a week behind potentially. 683. Yeah, I don't know how you're going to get him in if you can. But if you can, definitely would consider it. He's got a good run coming in. He's obviously going to face the Western Bulldogs without English, and then he's going to go into a game against Hawthorn, who give away the 4th most points to opposition ruckman, going at 11.94 above their average in that game. So he's already averaging 118.7. So you're potentially looking at, close to a 130 at a minimum for Xerri at this stage, based off those numbers.
And if you add it to his 3-round average as well, which 3-round average of 160.
Yeah. And even like his 5-round average of 140, if you add it to that, like you're laughing. You're laughing with any of those. If it goes 11 above his average, his 5-round or his 3-round. Definitely locking him in as R1 for next season. I don't care what he's priced at.
Exactly right. Hands down. Just the amount of like tackles that he has is just incredible. He's an extra midfielder. And like there are other ruckmen out there, like English has traditionally done it when he's not been a spud. Grundy, like TDK. But yeah, Xerri's just off the charts. He's just incredible. Like averaging 7 or 8 tackles a game is just insanity for a ruckman. But very, very good. Let us move on to the next option, and it is Dylan Moore as one of the more traded in at the moment. So he is priced at 501, and again, went down at 3.3k. He's actually gone down in price over the past few weeks, despite reasonable scores, thereabouts, close enough to the ton. He scored in his past 3, 97, 94, 95, so fairly consistent. Prior to that, in his prior 4 games, should say, 3 of those were tons. So in some nice little form. He's dropped around about 30k over the past 4 weeks because of these games in the high 90s. But, I mean, who else do you go for? If you're after a forward that's dependable, that you can rely upon with some consistent scoring, I do like him. He faces Richmond as well, which is also another massive prop, his favour, and faces North Melbourne. So their end of the season, the Hawks, like just generally, they should make the 8 hands down off the back of both of those games to come. But when it comes to the players like Moore and the like, he's going to lap it up. So if you're looking for a forward, look no further than him. Good value.
Yep, agreed. Agreed entirely. Next up, we have Rowan Marshall. If you can get his stats up for us.
Get him up there on the old screen here. Trying to find him on the trades, but wasn't there. There we go. So he's 604. He's priced at.
Yep. So a bit more expensive than English. You need 70k to get up to him, but he is in a good run of form as well. Not quite cherry level, but still decent enough. 129 3-round average, 123 5-round average. He is going very well. I'm trying to look at who he faces to end the season quickly.
So he faces Geelong and Carlton.
Yep. So again, Geelong giving away, I think, second most points.
They do. Yep, they do. 16.41.
Yeah, and then Carlton, I haven't. So I'm
a little bit more restrictive with the Pitbull at the helm. They're actually the most restrictive, believe it or not.
Interesting.
Negative 14.48.
Yeah, so a bit of a mixed bag with those two. But
I will say, though, against Carlton, I reckon he's going to absolutely smash Pitnet around.
I was going to say, it's going to be a bit of a different, yeah.
So he might get sort of level in the rock. But...
Looking at recent scores, you've got Tim English scored 85, but that was against TDK. Tristan Xerri scored 109 against TDK, then Sweet 100, Darcy Cameron 99, and Lloyd Meek 71. Those three scores were against Pitnet. So definitely restrictive there. All going, except for Jordan Sweet, all going below their season average.
Good old Sweetie boy. But Marshall, I think he's a pretty good option, isn't he? Like around that price.
Yeah, point, I think so.
If you can,
you have to get the coin to get up to him, but I wouldn't dislike that one.
Yeah, he's and facing the Cats as well. But like I think Stanley's in the ruck now, so I don't know. Like if he's more restricted, he's probably a little bit more restrictive, you'd imagine, compared to SDK when he was in the ruck. But he's around the groundwork is just incredible. He's probably matched with Xerri, I reckon, in terms of around the groundwork and ability to kick goals and stuff. Just doesn't really have those insane tackle numbers week after week, which helps Xerri. Do you like it?
Yep.
Alrighty.
I like it.
Let us roll into the next one, and it is the second most traded in of those coaches ranked in the top 1%, and it is Max Gawn. He's priced a little bit cheaper than good old Romo at 597.9k. He went up to 34.9k on the weekend, rightfully so, off the back of a massive score of 177. Came from nowhere. I mean, against Sweet, he probably gives up a fair few points, but still, considering Maxi Gawn is only 3 games back from his the chip off the old bone or whatever it was in his ankle. He's into some nice form because the previous week as well, round 21, he scored a 130. So pleasing for those owners like myself that held. At least that's they paid off there compared to a Rankin who I held for 4 weeks and came back and scored a 70 odd. Not that I'm jaded at all. But yeah, he faces Gold Coast this week. No, not at all. Gold Coast this week. And then finishes things off with the Pies. So Gold Coast there, slightly positive matchup, plus 2.91. And Collingwood, they are a negative matchup, negative 8.24. But I think when it comes to Gawny, he's someone that you can rely upon. When he's at the top of his game, like previous 3 against Gold Coast, 130, 88, and 138. And then Collingwood, 132, which is back in round 13 of this season. And then a 106 and a 70. So, yeah, do like him. And yeah, it says to me, I think he's over his any niggles that he had. He's still playing pretty much the same game, time on ground, I should say, as what he was prior to his injury. And probably a little bit more. Like the Dogs, he maxed out at 115 minutes, which was his second most for the season. So, yeah, they're really working him over, and he's running well and moving around the ground all right, so stick with him. He's an option.
He is an option. One I might consider. Maybe I'll finally get Max Gawn in for this season.
Do it.
It just feels really wasteful. Like I've got 190k in the bank, just so you know. Adam.
Oh, shit. Oh, just so Adam knows. Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah. So like, I feel like it's a waste going English to Gone. Like it's not using up all that cash.
Yeah.
I like to
with
get
the
as close to zero with your last trade.
Yep.
And I'm like,
Totally agree there.
Yeah. Why I kind of want to go Jackson instead. Like Jackson into the rucks and then just get a mid, like the most expensive mid that's not Bond.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. There's a few out there, isn't there? There's one that I'd be eyeing off, and I'm sure you'd be looking at as well. Might be an option that we chat about shortly, potentially as a trade-in option, maybe. But Jonas just quickly has said, with regards to your matchup with Adam, psych him out. Might choke this week like the Bombers. Come on, Jonas.
Potentially.
Come on, Jonas. We can't talk as Carlton supporters. We can't be dishing out stuff.
Come on.
Come on, mate. But classic gags. Classic gags.
Come on. Classic gags. It is true, though. We do like to choke.
Yeah.
I'm not.
But
I'm not the Dons, though.
Yeah, exactly. You're not the Dons. You're coming home with a bloody wet sail. I can tell you, you're not the Dons. You're bloody. I'm Carlton. You're not the Dons. I don't know who the Dons are, but yeah, couldn't get any worse than my mob. But who have you got next up, Liam? There is a bit of a left field one that we've listed down here. He's actually the 13th most traded in player, believe it or not, by the top 1%.
I'm loving it, though. Absolutely loving it. It is.
Why is that? Why is that, Liam?
I've still got him.
Enlighten us. How have you still got him?
Hey, he is the reason for my late season resurgence.
I know.
Next year, my team will be called something to do with Tom Powell. He has absolutely come home. His season is resembling mine. He has turned up in the last 3 matches. 101 against Geelong, 105 against Richmond, and then 123 against West Coast on the weekend. Playing a different role, playing a bit more defensively. So in the defensive half, coming off half back. Been absolutely thrown around as a player this season. But
look at these disposal numbers as well.
It is beautiful. I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it.
You should be. And it's like those play. I'm gonna have to do, like, end of the year. Of course, it is our last episode. Next week's going to be heading into the last round, but after that, we might do a bit of a review of the season and both of our teams respectively. I just want to go through and list those players that I've traded out that somehow turned their season form around. Like, I reckon there's quite a few, and Powell would be one. A lot of let's have a quick look at his ownership, just for comedic sake. So his ownership dropped. A lot of people traded him round 8 when he started dropping in price, and you, Liam, are like, no, you know what?
I was like, he's going to come good. It's still good. It's still good.
Yeah, exactly right. You're like Homer when he's got that the pig and like the foot long sandwich as well.
Yeah.
And Marge tries to throw it out in the bin, and he like picks it up, and he's like, "How could I be mad at you?" And like Marge slaps it out of his hand, and he like gets sick from eating it. That's you. Yeah. You've just been consuming Powell for like the entirety of the season. His ownership dropped from 15% to 12 to 11 to 10, 9, 7, 6, 6, 6, 6, and now it's started to go up to 6.3 again. So people are jumping on Liam.
On the rise.
You're a trendsetter.
That's it. Just hold him.
Just hold him all the way through.
Just hold him. Mascot for my side next year. He faces the Dogs. I'm just having a quick look. Who are giving away positive points.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, I don't really want to classify him as a wing/attacking defender, but like he's not really playing as a general defender. And he's not really playing as a mid, from what I've seen.
Just lumping into the category that's green, because that's what he's going to score, given his current form. He's just
whichever one he is.
So he's in good form. I'm just trying to bring up his heat map here on screen, just in the back end, so we can see at least see what his CBAs are. Here we go. So CBAs, they're not maxed out like they were early in the season, but last where are we? 3 games where he scored 123, 105, and 101. He had 0 CBAs in round 20. Round 21, he had 37%, and then round 22, 50%. So, sort of fluctuating.
Coming back to the inside mid.
Well, there you go. This is heat map there. So he's still sort of in the middle,
he's back
drifting
into
around
that
the
mid,
round.
Yeah.
At least that was on the weekend.
Because he kind of came back. Yeah, the weeks before, he was playing a bit more defensively.
Yep.
Not defensively, but kind of coming off the half-back line. And I think, I don't know,
there it is,
obviously we've seen he has the ability to score well when he does get those CBAs.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you're totally right. This is the week prior, round 21, where he was sort of patrolling half-back and pushing up to sort of the wing.
Yeah.
A couple of CBAs and but interesting.
So, I don't know. Whatever he's doing, just keep doing it. Please, Clarko.
Yeah, whatever you're doing.
Care.
Just
I don't care what position he plays, just as long as it scores well.
Now, there's a bloke that's highly owned who's being brought in, and no doubt a lot of people already have him. Zach Merritt's 578.5. Off the back of the 145 that he scored on the weekend, which was his equal highest score for the season, dating back to round 17 against the Pies. Sydney and Brisbane, though, there's some tough matchups in the run home, albeit at Marvel and then at the Gabba. So still, both of those sides need to continue winning to secure a top 4 spot. But the the Dons need to continue winning to potentially reclaim a spot in the top 8. So who knows?
Yeah, all right.
You're right.
Talking about, a potential trade out option. If you do have no issues with, Kerno or what's his name, Tim English, Nick Martin was training as a forward from what I've heard today.
Okay.
Trading forward, not as a backman. I don't know whether that means anything, but just something to consider whether that hurts his scoring. I mean, he plays well when he does play forward of the ball, so it just might not be as strong a score as we've had as he's been playing in the back line. So one to consider maybe if you do have spare trades to consider, or even looping for that matter.
Yep.
Playing on the Friday night.
Exactly right.
Screen his score if you can.
Yeah, that's a very fair point, actually. Especially if he's playing at 4. As you say, he scored, 4 goals last time he was up 4?
Yeah, it's a weird thing. He could potentially score really well as a forward, but just a bit more risky. It might not also be the case. There might just be training, to give flexibility, but yeah.
Yep. Makes sense. Are there any other players? I mean, just scrolling through, you can see on screen, there's Zach Butters, there's Houston, McKirch is another one, 508.4K. Relatively cheap for those people looking for anyone, but I mean, cheap in comparison to the bigger priced players, of course. But there is Saad Al Hawley, or Howley, I don't know how you pronounce his name, for the Dons, defender midfielder. So for those people looking for a bit of a loophole, maybe, because he might play, I'm hearing, potentially.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I think he potentially plays. If not this week, next week. But obviously plays on the Friday night. So, yeah, you'll at least get to know early on. I do think we are missing someone.
There's Jordan Clark, 572. Jeremy McGovern, 589, went up 21.7K. He's probably another one as well. He's decent price point. He did max out pretty much into the 600Ks or thereabouts. No, he hasn't. Sorry, apologies. No, he's back to... He's actually his highest price point. Jeez, I'll lie. It was just a massive guess and it didn't come off. But he's passed 4 games, 132.98, 125, and a 155 faces the Baggers and the Cats. Now, the Eagles should beat Carlton, considering there's going to be a VFL team playing, combined with the fact that the form's just terrible. So it begs the question, is the ball actually going to get down there? If it does, he's going to be getting some easy marks, you'd think. So it's does he score well in a win?
Especially with both Kerno and Mackay out.
Yeah.
Who's he matching
what's his
up
role?
on?
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
I think Carlton's going to be forced to bring in. It's hilarious. This is like salary cap era, back when we were playing with like players from the local leagues. We're going to have Young, and we're going to have a potential debutant in Lemmy, who's quite tall, a bit of a slider in the draft. So I'm excited to see him. But yeah, inexperienced player and a player in Young who is more renowned for playing as a defender. So yeah, could have a field day potentially. So one option if you need it, but I don't know. Any other players that stand out as I scroll down this list?
They're not on that list that I've seen so far, but a player we should be considering is Willem Drew.
Willem Drew, yes.
Been in a hot run of form.
I know this is the bloke that you bring into your team. Bit of a wink, wink, hint, hint, Adam, if you're still tuning in.
Yeah. I mean...
Where is he? Surely someone's brought him in. Surely someone has brought him in. I will say...
At his highest price point for the year. So, no, sorry, not quite. He did hit the heights of 558 earlier in the season. He's only at 554 at the minute.
How did he hit that?
Please.
Yeah, I can't even find him. I'm scrolling that far down the list. He's not even here. I reckon he's probably in the most traded out. If I just change the stats here. Seriously? Oh, here he is. He's the 120th most traded in player in the top 1%. And you know why, Liam?
Because it's 0%.
Because he's zero. Order. Yeah, it's alphabetical order. It's equal 1/14th. So unfortunately, unlike what Champion Data are spouting and cheerleading for him, yeah.
He's
a couple of big scores though. Look
at that run of form, excluding the 70 against Melbourne. He's gone 163, 112, 93, 110 in his last five. Like, what a gun.
Champion Data were right. We were wrong, Liam. Oh, sorry, I was wrong. You didn't doubt them. I was wrong.
I never doubted him.
You never doubted him. You were nodding the whole time like, yep. Ahead of Bond.
I was like, what are you talking about, David? What are you talking about?
Ahead of Butters. In all seriousness, there are a couple of options here we probably should mention. Adam Treloar's one, 659.8k. He's one coming up against North.
FYI.
Do you want to roll through him, Liam? What has he got? What has he shown over the past few weeks?
It's an absolute ceiling. Like 3 scores in the 140s. Obviously scored 104 against the Crows on the weekend. But the Crows aren't super positive in terms of average. I don't know if I didn't see the game, so I don't know if he got tagged or anything. Who do they face in the next couple of rounds? Sorry, if you scroll down slightly.
So they face North this week.
Yep. So you wouldn't expect any tag there, but potentially a Bedford tag in the last game. There, down at Mars.
Yep. Great run.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he's in a great run of form, and it just, I mean, he's got some flaw. Like, other than that 50, what was it, 58 or 59 against North? Yep. Sorry, I can't see it from here.
Yeah, that's when he was tagged as well by
was
Phillips.
Tagged. So potentially North does it again. I don't know. Like, what's the point in a sense?
Yeah, this time of year, like surely, like they're not playing for wins.
No, exactly. Surely you try and just play to your advantage. But yeah, decent floor from, what I can see there. They're all tons except for a 94 in round 7 and a 94 in round 13. And then that 58. So yeah, good scores. A 99 against the Dons and a 91 in round 1. But otherwise, yeah, all decent scores, 100 plus. And the ability to have a high ceiling. So I don't mind it. Who does he face? He faces North, who are giving away negative points to inside mids, I will say. And then who was the other team? The Giants, who are also giving away negative points. Just having a quick look to see what those scores actually look like. Oh, come on. Hello.
That's right. I'll have a look quickly here. So for North, inside mids, so you can see there, 93 Tim Kelly, 92 Yo, Jimby 80, Reed 48, Taranto 107, Baker 101. So they're fairly, I must say, restrictive across the board. Only
But, I
2
mean,
tons there from Taranto and Baker.
That being said, though, like, just having a look, like, Taranto went 107, which is 3 above his average. So I'm not too concerned. Like, Cripps went 114, Hewitt went 109, Goulden went 142, Warner went 130. So I think there's still ability for him to score well. So I'm not too worried, but they are restrictive. I agree.
Yep.
But I'm not as, I guess, concerned by it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yep, no, I agree as well.
Definitely one to consider. I like him.
Now, we can probably round it out with it. There are a few plays here that we could go through, but at this time of year, with 2 games to go, really comes down to, how much money you've got. Yeah, and if you've actually got any trades. So, if you've got any specific questions, of course, always hit us up on Twitter, at supercoach_edge, help you out there. But probably one player that I will mention, and I will say it with a little bit of knowledge here, because it is Nick Newman from my mob, priced at a fairly decent price, 517.5k. Scored a 107 on the weekend despite the shellacking at the hands of the Hawks. Scored a 144 the week prior against the Pies. The big thing here, and there are, the scores prior to that, 84, 64, 90, 84, so nothing really to write home about there. But the big thing in here is that Adam Sard is out with a hamstring.
It's going to help him so much.
So, yeah, it's going to help him. He's going to go into that role. Zach Williams, I don't know as well, if he stays at 40, probably is more needed down defence, but even so, I think it opens up an opportunity there for, there's more slices of the pie to go around for the likes of Newman and Cowan and everyone else to have some off-the-charts games, especially against West Coast as well. Having said that, they're actually pretty restrictive to their own credit. Designated kickers, they're negative 1.64. And bring it up here on screen. General defenders, negative 9.19, and wing defenders, negative 10.87. So not too bad, but it's just more the personnel that are missing from Carlton's side. So there might be a bit of an opportunity there. It's a bit of a pod if you're after one, in a sense.
No, I agree. One thing that I don't mind looking at here, at this stage of the season especially, is looking at 3 and 5 round averages. So sorting by that and seeing what's available. So seeing who's in form and kind of going for a bit of a pod, because if you're making trades at this stage of the season, you're trying to find someone that not everyone has that's going to give you a bit of a boost. So, yeah, I don't mind looking at sort of that 3 or 5 round. Probably 5, I don't know. 3 to 5 is what I like to look at.
Yep. Well,
and just kind
totally
of
right. Yeah, sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's it. Pretty much. I kind of look at both. Like, I look at 3. I probably sort by 3 round and then say, okay, is there 5 round also good? Or is it, So, I'm trying to see, scanning down that list quickly.
Like Treloar is one.
Treloar, yep, here's a good one. Even Xerri there, 160 and 140, you'd be happy with a 140. Just a kind of... Bont, 130. I mean, you need to trade Bont in, but...
Yeah, Gawn's 134.7 to 116.6. Treloar, 133 to 135.2. He's 5 round. Yeah, Marshall, 129 to 123.4. Yep. Darcy Cameron even. Massive pod, 2.5% ownership. 128.3, 3-round average, and a 129.6, 5-round average. So, really good. Lucky Whitfield, Jeremy McGovern. Yeah,
so
that's a fair point.
If you scroll down slightly, sorry, I think I just saw one. Yeah, like that Jason Horn, JHF, 121 3-round, and then a 97.4 5-round. It says that something's potentially, there might be a spike in there in the 3-round that's pushing it up.
Yep, you're correct there.
And so I'd be concerned. Yeah, sort of 2 spike games. It doesn't necessarily look like there's a change in role. Yeah, just things
Another
like that
as well. Yeah, like Jordan Clark as well, 118.3 to 116.4. And you're right, like you look at the 5 round and it gives you more of a wider sort of, there's the macro look, which is the 5 round, and the micro look is more the 3 round average. So the 5 round average is like, okay, you can probably have a bit more confidence in selecting the player and for their form to carry on over the next couple of rounds to round out the year. And as you can see there with Clark, like he hasn't gone below a ton since round 15. But, he's kind of lacking for ceiling apart from the game of the weekend against the Cats, 138. If you look at, where is he? He's gone now. I've lost him. Whitfield, 127.3, 126.4 for his 5 round average. He has looked better, except for the one down game, which is kind of bringing down those averages overall. Scored a 97 on the weekend. Prior to that, 152, 133, 137, and tons all the way through to round 13. So yeah, it's a fair point, but I like that tactic.
Especially late in this, like I wouldn't do it early because it's put kind of irrelevant. But I think at this stage, when you're looking at final kind of trades and just trying to get a leg up, it's again not worrying about who's actually top 6, but who's going to finish top 6 for the rest of the season, if that makes sense. Who's currently performing like a top 6 forward or a top 6 defender or a top 6 midfielder or top 8 midfielder, whatever it might be.
Yep. Yeah, it's a very fair point. And like with head-to-head, like in the prelims as well now, if you need a bit of a pod matchup or, at least a player that your opponent doesn't own that you could bring into your team to give you a leg up off the back of as well, looking at these 5 round and 3 round averages as a bit of a wider snapshot of how things could look for the last 2 games, not just the prelim, but if you get through to the grand final as well, if your opponent or one of your two, you have a look at the opposing prelim, have a look at the 2 matchups there and see if they own the player you're bringing in. So on the off chance you actually do make it through to the grand final, it might give you a bit of a double leg up over your current head-to-head opponent in the prelim and then in the grand final. Yeah. Very, very good. Well, Liam.
And I think, just quickly, on top of that, I think we often look at total points or average,
yes,
which obviously is good, but it just fails to take into account that run of form, that recent run of form. And so there's no one, potentially Darcy Cameron's a good example there. 103, I think, is his average, 103.9, but he's got a 128 and 129, 3 and 5 round average. So he's performing well above what his average is. If you looked at him based off average, you're probably not looking at him as a potential option.
Yep.
And even as total points, having missed games, like he's not going to appear high up on that list.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, because the players around him, either side of him even, like Rowan Marshall, 2,310 points overall. Darcy Cameron's 2,182. The other side is Lockie Whitfield, 2,294. So 100 points and 140 points, or there 130 points difference. So
just something to think about. It's another way of looking at it. Like, don't just always filter based off total points or average. Look at things like 3 round and 5 round.
Yep. Exactly, because if you filter here by total points, as you can see as an example, looking down the list here, Sarong, even though he's 6 in total points overall, his 3 round average is pretty ordinary, 109. There's other guys here, Dacos, 104.7 to 101.8, which is his 5 round average. So there are a few guys here that, Lockie Neal's a classic one as well, been tagged, and his scores have dropped in recent weeks compared to where he's scoring 149, 179, 143. So it's a very, very good point.
Yep.
Very good, Lam. Well, shall we jump into the next segment, which is, of course, Lam. Let's do it. I don't have my hat here, but I probably should get it because, Lam, I'm going to need it for the flight across to Bali because I might just board the plane with it and just see it. And I know you're going to mention that there's an anchor on the front, but I'm going to draw a little plane on a bit of paper and I'll stick it on the front and people will be none the wiser, Liam.
Yes,
and
sure.
What will I say? What will I say as I man the cockpit, Liam?
This is your captain speaking.
I'm the captain now.
Look at me. I'm the captain now.
So just for those at home, on the weekend we had a family family get together for an engagement /30th, and your wife, I think, said to you, "Look at me," and I'm not even joking. In my head, I was like, "I am the captain now." Like I was waiting for her to say it, and she didn't.
Yeah, we're both like, you got to say it twice. You got to say, "Look at me, look at me," with a bit more sternness. She obviously doesn't quite watch and consume our content, SuperCoach wise. Yeah, which is no surprise considering she calls it the mistress. So, but yeah, very good pickup by you. You were straight onto it.
It was like, excuse me.
I was just at attention. I was like, yes, dear. Not that I'd ever call her dear because she would hate that. But I probably should see the response. But Liam, I'm the captain now. We are here.
That's it. And I'm the captain now. We chat about what VC. Sorry, I'm thrown. We chat about what VC and C options.
Do I need to say, look at me?
Look at me. For the upcoming round of SuperCoach. As always, we've scrounged through the data so you don't have to and found the top options for you to consider. On Friday night, we got my boy Zachy Merritt up against the Swans, and we're hoping he's going to put it in H because his last 3 scores against the Swans do read 132 back in round 2, 139 and 57 way back in 2022. So he did bounce back last week after a few down weeks, but he's by his lofty standards with a score of 145 against the Suns. So could be a nice little VC for you on a Friday night if you want to lock in a score.
Put it in H. Are you tempted to put it in H?
No.
No,
because Xerri's the only option really this week.
Yeah, that's true. Well, if you didn't own Xerri, oh my God, I have like a single tear roll down my cheek every single time you mention that bloke's name.
Sorry. If you didn't, no, I don't mind it. I think looking at the VC options of like players that we actually have, he's probably the top one. And then, yeah, it's probably him mainly.
Yep. No, that's right. I'll consider him, but I totally agree. I think even though I haven't got the cherry bomber, the cherry picker, I am looking elsewhere. But in this same game, of course, we have good old Errol. Loves to play the Dons with a 149 in his last match against them earlier this year, plus a 152 and a 130 from 2023 and 2022 matches. On top of that, the Dons, they give away the 4th most points to wingers, Liam. So you're probably all across this anyway as a Dons man, the impact that he has against your mob. What say
I have
thee?
to say, it's a strange feeling because I absolutely love Errol. Absolutely love Errol. Sorry, there's some noise going on outside. And he just kills us, but I like it. Like, I love watching him play. So it's a strange one. So if I did have him, I wouldn't mind him. I'd probably put the VC on him. But hasn't had the greatest run of form recently.
No, he hasn't. No.
Like, he hasn't been up there. I think he scored 80 on the weekend. But would be... I think he scored well in previous matches, but... Not,
he's been
not
up and down,
those heights. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Season on the line, maybe that'll help him.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They need to
Not
secure
really on the
a
line,
top
but
2
just
spot.
Just needing that.
Home final.
I'm wanting the
who have
form.
we got? Yeah, the form. The form's not is kind of wavering a bit. So yeah, I'd probably make him a bit more of a pod VC option if anything. But yeah, it's like, will he pop off this week considering that Heaney did, or will Heaney come back and run amok? Maybe.
That's it. Next up, though, we have Nick Dacos up against the Brisbane Lions. Bit of a mixed bag in terms of past scores against the Lions for old Nicky Boy, with 102, 151 and 71 in his last 3. He also hasn't been in the best of form more recently with a 3-round average of just 104.7. But, Damon, is this his bounce-back game or is he one to skip over?
Yeah, I'm not really confident in him. He's been found out in recent weeks. He actually, believe it or not, he's had of his past 6 games, he's only had half of those, tons or better, and they were 106 and 101, and only one big score of 147, which was against Richmond, which is no surprise there considering they are leaking points to opposition mids. So I am not confident in the slightest. Big matchup here. May attract a bit of attention from Berry, maybe, as one such opponent that may be magnetised to him this week. But yeah, I think I'll look elsewhere. If it was a softer matchup, I might take the risk. But I think there's still better options more than anything. And nope, you've lost your captain's hat. You're out of the cockpit by the looks of it.
Nothing
you're
happened.
back, thank God. I was going to say, who's taking the joystick? Because I just am kicking back in autopilot, and I don't know what these buttons do.
What do you mean? What buttons?
Oh God, how are we landing the plane? and then you say, what, on a plane? I thought we're on a boat. Hence the fact that we've got these anchors. Oh God. Hopefully that doesn't happen on the plane. Anyway, not something I want to save you from.
This is why you should not take your hat with you.
What I should do seriously is put it in my carry-on baggage and then take it off, sit down on the plane and wear it, and I'll take a photo and I'll upload it to Twitter.
Please do. Also, maybe you can have it, like, you know how they always wear them under their arm? Maybe you should do that so you can get through security.
Oh, yes! That's so true. It's like, you got to face it out like that way.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. And then you can get through
Like, look at
security
me.
quicker. The only
People won't
risk
even know
here,
the anchor.
no, not at all. And the only risk here is that, you know how people are like, you know, something happens on a plane, it's like, is anyone a doctor? Something's going to happen on this plane. Like, is anyone a captain? And you're going to be like, no.
I am!
Like that episode of The Simpsons where Homer goes to the pilot's bar.
Well, that'd be the only benefit for me bringing my captain's hat on, because obviously if someone's like, someone's going to land the plane, I'd be like, even though I'd be wearing the hat, they'd be like, you, sir, get into the cockpit. And I'd be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm not a captain.
It's got an anchor on it, sorry.
It's got an anchor. Yeah, haven't you seen the anchor?
I can
Anyway, we're
clearly
going off on
only
a...
drive boats.
Exactly. Yeah, drive boats.
That's it. That's what you do. You drive a boat, don't you?
Yeah, sail cars.
That's it.
Well,
Anyway.
next up, Liam, we do have Lachie Neale up against the Pies. Of course, same game multi. Not that I think you'd include him in it. Gamble responsibly, of course. Bit of a segue. Don't know why. But Lachie Neale, we're unraveling here. He is... well, the Pies, first off, they're giving away the third most points to inside mids, which could be enticing for Neale owners. And last time they met, Neale scored 129, but Neale hasn't scored a captaincy-worthy score since round 18, Lamb, which scores since then. Round 18, he scored 143, but after that, 78, 117, 103, and an 87. So nothing too crash hot.
No. Skip.
Not for me. Yep. Skip indeed.
So let's go next up. We got Butters up against Adelaide in the showdown, and he presents as an opportunity with recent scores of 124 and 134 in this specific matchup. And he has a 120.3 3-round average. So one to consider, I think, could be in for a decent enough score. I mean, his last two scores, 132 and 131, they're nice. The 98 against Carlton, 89 against Richmond, and then 120-something against the Gold Coast Suns.
Yep. No, I do... don't mind him. I mean, it's a different thing. It's kind of like any rivalry game.
Yeah, it's just a week. I'm not loving any of the captaincy options.
No. There's nothing that's jumping out, and I think I'd just be going off the matchup just based upon it's a rival, come out firing, Adelaide getting a random win against the Dogs, all that sort of stuff. Like Port wanting to keep pressing for a top 4 spot, all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, just the more the vibe, more the Marbo side of things, I think, Liam.
Agreed.
Next up, we do have Sinclair up against Geelong. So Sinclair has 3 of his last 4 scores above 123. and he faces the Cats, who are giving away the third most points to attacking defenders. And his recent scores against the Cats, he scored a 137, 116, and a 107. So he's a relative pod as well, which is a bonus at just 11% ownership. So don't mind good old Sinclair as a bit of an option there.
Agreed. And next up, we do have Rowan Marshall up against
Row your
the
boat.
Geelong Cats. Row your boat. He has recaptured the form that made him so damaging in the middle part of the season, with his past 4 scores reading 126, 126, 135, and 123. That's a 3-round average of 129 and a 5-round average of 123.4. So he's scored 127 against the Cats back in round 1 and 141 and 82 prior to that. It's a juicy matchup, with the Cats giving up the second most points to opposition rucks, with recent scores of 81 to Jackson, 117 to Rob, 151 to Xerri, 139 to English, and 131 to Darcy Cameron. Just obviously be mindful that Stanley is back in the ruck, with SDK having that injury and then being given his marching orders as well out of that ruck spot, and probably being a bit more SDK, being a bit more less restrictive, and probably Stanley being slightly more. So only owned by 10% of the comp. So presents as a relative pod VC and C option for owners to consider, especially in a prelim league matchups if your opponent doesn't own him. So one that I definitely like.
Yep. And speaking of which, the old Saints fanatic and supporter of ours, Jono Carroll, has said, Rowan VC locked and loaded for me. Is that a bit of bias by you, Jono? No, but I think you are on the money there. If you own it, I do like it especially as a bit of a pod option, which could help you in league prelim matchups.
Agreed.
Next up, Liam, and I probably should have left this man to you. Let me scroll on screen all the way to the top as the most traded in player. No surprise, and it is that man, the cherry picker. So his form is insane. We spoke about it enough, but 3-round average of 160 and a 5-round average of 140. And as we mentioned earlier, his past 3 scores have been 151, 144, and a 185. The Dogs, they give up a positive matchup to opposition ruckman, but nothing to write home about. But Cherry scored 141 against them in round 16. And this time, they will be without English. So Liam, load the cannons. Fire!
So I'm going to throw a spanner in the works here.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a tougher matchup now for Cherry because he doesn't know what it looks like, even in match? You know what I mean? Like
it's an uncertain sort of matchup for him.
Yeah,
because he can't.
It's like he knows
plan.
English, what English probably looks like as a ruckman, but he doesn't necessarily know what it's going to look like for his opposition. I don't know. I'm not too worried about it. I'd definitely be chucking the VC/C on him. He's in a great run of form. And as you said, scored 141 against them earlier this season. So should be good to go. I don't know.
Yep.
I just always worry about this.
I guess the one security blanket that comes with Cherry is the fact that his tackle numbers have been insane. So that's almost, I liken it to a bit of a, getting a bit of a head start in a sense. Like he had 10 tackles against Carlton round 19, 8 tackles against Geelong round 20, 10 in round 21 against Richmond, and then 12 on the weekend against West Coast. So he's averaging off the charts tackle numbers. Disposals he's having over easily. He's actually surpassed 20 disposals in his last 3. And he had 30 on the weekend as well, which is crazy. And his hitouts as well have been, 35, 40 plus as well. So I think even if he is, I guess, matched around the ground and restricted for disposals, he's still able to have a relatively nice score anyway. So don't mind it. I think it's worth the risk anyway with his recent form, as you said. Like
I think so.
Top, round 3, round 5 average. Best in the game.
And I think anyone that owns him is probably going to be chucking the VC/C on him. Probably the C. They play on Sunday, don't they?
Yes, yep.
Yeah, so I'd be shocked if people didn't chuck the C on him.
Yeah, he's the first game on Sunday as well. So if you wanted to put if you want to put the VC on him, you can do so because there's Richmond, Hawthorn, and then Carlton, West Coast, which I don't know if there are any players there you really want to put the captaincy on, but he's a nice sort of fallback option if you want to take a risk with the VC. and then
Yep.
safety net, put the C on him.
Agreed.
Very good.
Now, last up, we've got Bont up against North Melbourne. Same game. Comes into this game with a 3-round average of 136.7 and a 5-round average of 128. Surprisingly, North, as we have said, actually are a restrictive side for opposing inside mids. However, Bont has scored 157 back in round 16 against them and a 169 and a 102 prior to that. So it's fair to say he will once again be a very popular captaincy option and a feel for those indecisive options, owners of both Bont and Xerri. So, yes, interesting one.
Yeah, exactly right. That's probably going to be the most painstaking. You're one of them, Liam. Do you go for a Bont? Do you go for a Xerri? Because
Go Xerri.
the recent form line, and he's not going to get tagged, surely. Who can tag the Bont? But as you say, you're going straight up Xerri. So it might help me, Liam, in our head-to-head matchup, which is a bit of a segue here because let's have a look at our head-to-head matchup. And another win to you, Liam, with your choice of Xerri's 1 zillion that he scored, outscoring Sheasel's 122. And of course, you do have the first choice this week, and probably a blessing for me is you are unable to select the cheat code, otherwise known as Xerri, given you can't select the same player 2 weeks in a row. So, begs the question, Liam, who are you eyeing off?
So I've heard that North Melbourne have a new ruckman. He's got a bit of a mustache, wears glasses. He's called Apple.
Tristan, I was thinking the exact same gag. Tristan Apple.
So, no. Look, I agree in what we've just spoken about. I think there's 2 big options. There's 3 big options this round. Rowan Marshall up against Geelong, Tristan Xerri up against the Bulldogs, and Bont up against North. I think if you go for one of those 3, I'm happy. In my team, I will definitely be going for Xerri, but I think here I'm going to go Bont.
Yep. Well, makes it easy for me. I'll go for Mr. Xerri. And you watch me put the moz on him now. Apologies, Liam, in advance.
Please don't.
But good old Tristan Apple. They call him, his nickname is the Big Banana. Just keep it fruit related. But it is that time, Liam, of course, to roll into the next segment. And there are a few questions, or more so a few comments as well, which we will read out. So if you have any questions, comments, general statements, any of the kind, feel free to flick them through because, Liam, it is time for I Gots to Know Who the Captain is.
Hey, I got to know.
Well, I'm the captain, so that's undisputed.
That's not true.
Well, let's have a look at some of those comments that have been rolling through thick and fast. Let me scroll all the way back. And we do have Jack. He said, Liam, I love the beanie, mate, but my Nightmare Supercoach month continues. Scored 2384 and dropped from 1.3k to 2.4k. Filthy at myself, also not looping Sheasel and going for a stupid punt on Nank C. Yeah, it's a bit of an annoyance, isn't it? But it's just that's what happens.
It's annoying because 122 is that. Yeah, and that 122 is that awkward score where you probably should take it, but it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, I was in 2 minds myself, and I was like, I wanted to hit 125, which again, it's stupid. There's 3 points difference, but it's just that number, not seeing it 125 plus. It's just, I don't know, but I was like, no, I'm not going to be stupid this time. And yeah, didn't matter anyway because I left bloody McKercher score on the bench at the end of the day. Yeah. Jonas has said, fellas, who is Team Hot Pies in the Cash League, playing them in the prelim this week? Well, that's the bloke that knocked me out in the final on the weekend. Let's have a quick squiz. Full credit to him. Actually, no, he knocked me out in the first final, I should say. Where is he? Hot Pies. He finished in 3rd spot, knocked me out in the first finals. Thankfully, I had the double chance. Not that it mattered, but Hot Pies, he is.
Oh, that was a close second matchup too. Your match in that second one was closed. 2-4-8-9, 2-4-7-8. Oh, 12 points.
Yeah, well, quickly round these out whilst they're here. You're totally right. So Export, full credit to him. he did me over there. And it was more so off the back of Philippou being a late out. Now, I could have, as I said, used that trade to bring in another player, a rookie, to just guarantee the win, because I think I was slated for a 100-point win heading into Sunday. But as I said in the Discord, it was Sunday, bloody Sunday, and it struck well and truly me. But all the best to you, Export Daniel, with your team, who faces off against Icon Harley Reid, who secured that prelim spot with a big win in the first week of finals. And Slims, good old Slim Jim, Simon, he went down to you, Jonas, 2517 to 2482, and you face off, as we said, against Hot Pies Mitchell. So, yeah, I don't know. It's this time of year, anything can happen. As you saw with the Sunday, just turned for me. So you've got to be on your game. And for the second Cash League, Big Brad Brisbane Bear, who finished top of the table, I think a game or two clear potentially, is out in straight sets, unfortunately, Evan. He fought valiantly against Isdon is good, and he went down by 36 points. And then Small Victories, who goes through... he lost to Zora Killer, 2521 to 2483. And Isdon is good. He's the only team remaining that finished outside the top four. So could he do a Western Bulldogs? Perhaps. We'll have to wait and see. But he faces off against Tyrell's Hacks, and Zora Killer faces off against the classic Supercoach Edge themed team name, I Am the Captain Now, Jake's team. So... we'll probably be lying if we said that we weren't hoping that he'd get through just with that team name alone. But no, for the sake of being neutral, all the best to everyone in the finals for the prelim week. Next up, Liam, we do have Adam, who is said to be fair with Kerno, English, and Mackay. I'm up a certain creek with no paddles anyway. So say all you would like, Liam.
Oh,
there you go.
now I feel bad.
Yeah, now it's going to be... Now you should trade in... who's worse than English? No one. Bring in BJ Williams to give Adam a bit of a
gun, absolute gun.
Yeah, maybe pull something like that. Jack, you've said we all appreciate the effort you and all the Supercoach content creators do each and every week. So filthy I couldn't listen in to more of your stream with Brad, but I was in pain laughing. Yes, yeah, I jumped on with a quick stream with Brad, and I can't remember, just spoke absolute crap really, but a bit of Supercoach mixed in, but like we do here, just a bit of fun with Supercoach, more sort of the theme behind the scenes. So no, it was good fun, but always a pleasure to have you supporting us, Jack. You're a good man, especially from, as well, Norway, of all places, not even in the country, and he's still, with the time differences, still able to tune in. One time he was at the bank, another time he was sick, another time he was caring for his partner who was sick, then he caught the sickness from her, all that sort of stuff. So, no, he's an absolute legend. Jonas, you've said psych him out, might choke. Yes, okay, sorry, apologies, I put that up again, Liam. That was a pure accident.
Oh, yeah.
Jack has said, I've already locked in Xerri round 1, 2025. Lost a bit of interest after I picked Nan Curvis for 50k more expensive than Xerri at the time, and definitely not as consistent as the Pig Cherry. Yeah, the Pig Cherry. Unlike the Pig Clary. How's the Pig Clary? He has hit a complete wall, hasn't he?
Is it? I don't know. It's worrying.
Well, with the news coming out about Petrarca, which I thought was just pure drivel, and then I saw the email that was sent out from Gary Pert to Melbourne members saying that they were in discussions with leaders about how to improve, or to words of that effect, and it's like, oh shit, okay, maybe there's a bit of truth to the rumor then. But yeah, does it stem from Clary? Are there other cultural issues? Maybe. Jeez, how good would it be to have good old Petrarca on your team? Liam, what about this one for you?
I did have a look. I was looking at this earlier. So this question is from Global. Which ruckman under English's price would you say has the best run? And that he means best matchups. I was having a look, and then I got distracted.
I'll bring it up on screen here.
Doing a podcast. So
it's just on screen here. So there's Oscar McInerney's right below him. Can you see all that?
Yeah. I mean, I don't love any of it.
No.
McInerney probably, if you scroll up slightly, sorry, just above English.
Oh, there's
Kieran
Briggs. Oh, he's injured though. Does he come back?
What was he injured with? Do you know? What was he injured with? Let me Google it. I don't know. McInerney maybe. It kind of he's going okay. Like he's averaging 92, averaging 94 for the season, going in a 92 3-round average. And what is it, a 99 5-round
99,
average?
99 3-round average. Sorry, 99 5-round average and a 92 3-round average.
It's kind of around his actual average, so you can kind of feel like you're going to get that roughly that score. Faces Collingwood and then the Dons.
Briggs hasn't actually been too bad. There were a few big scores there, but there were spike scores off the back of nice matchups against TDK at Carlton, 148, 122 against Nank, who concede scores. Restrictive Wits, 88. Melbourne faced Gawn for 111, and then Meek, 86. So he's done okay, but a lot of the matchups there have been favourable. Faces Freo this week, Briggsy, if he comes back in. If Darcy's still out, faces Jacko, which would be interesting. And then the Western Bulldogs to finish. But, there aren't really any... Like, Grundy, but he's out of form, and he definitely needs a rest, you could see.
Yeah.
Oops, my SuperCoach has carked it, so the share screen is not working. No, there's no one really below.
So, Briggs missed with a shoulder. Are you ready for this? Ready for the quote from Adam Kingsley?
Yes.
Briggs is managing some shoulder stuff. So that was super clear. Shoulder stuff is what he was out
shoulder
with
stuff
last week.
That's technical too.
Yep. They said that he'd be assessed and then see how he went. So I reckon he's back this week. Looks like it wasn't. It would look like more it was soreness in the shoulder as opposed to an injury as such. But yeah, keep an eye on that one. I probably rate him if you're going to go for anyone. I know he's slightly higher priced, but yeah.
Yep. No, don't mind it. Yeah, if he's as long as he's fit. But aside from that, there aren't really any players that you'd have any confidence in at all. Like you say, if you got Jackson as a bit of a swing from the forward into the ruck, I'd be trading English to someone on another line if you can swing DPPs.
Because you're going to probably have to field. You're probably going to have to field Darcy and Jackson anyway. So you might as well do that in the ruck and then swing some DPPs and get a better player in another position.
Yeah, yep. Even if you got Kerno like me on the bench, you could bring in a Moore potentially, Dylan Moore. You could bring in. You wouldn't be able to afford Rankin, but yeah, even though his return score wasn't the best, but one of the better options. Sammy Draper is a bit of a left field one, potentially.
No.
Thoughts? He's actually been scoring okay, but nothing like ceiling wise.
But also, Gold Coast, he kicked 3 goals to score 89. True, yes. Like, I don't know. Who do they play? They play Sydney.
So Sydney and Brisbane.
But I think they're going to probably likely to persist with Brian and Draper. So he'll suffer just from the fact that he's not the main ruck.
Yep. That's a fair point. A very good observation. Jonas has said, Sam Darcy, 381k forward, a cheap option this week. Sharing with the lube. He means good old not Matthew Lobb. What's his name? Whatever his name is.
What is his name?
I don't know his first name.
Lobb.
Rory Lobb.
Rory, that's it.
Is that insignificant when I don't even know his first name? Or is even Rory Lobb an option? Oh, no.
No. No.
But Sam Darcy?
Sam Darcy, 381k, shown that he can score well enough.
Yes. And in the ruck, might actually have a bit of a ceiling score. Yeah, don't mind it. Next up we have Jonas, get West Coast to send English a message. We are going in a harder, different direction. And he said, the St Kilda poo flipper, of course, that is Philippou, is weak as a trickle of piss. Can't count on him. He was ill, Jonas. Come on. He was ill. He had the sniffles. Jack, can do my best with that. Oh, this is talking about his using his daddy's connection. Got some insight on some Carlton stuff going on from him too. Well, Jack, slide into my DMs with poise, because I would love to hear what you have to say there. I could probably imagine anyway. And thoughts on the stuff with English with all this West Coast news. Bit of a segue there off the back of Jonas's message. At this rate, he's on my never again list. Yeah, he's hands down my never again list. He can get stuffed. Doesn't matter anyway. Xerri's already tied up one spot, and I'd be happy enough to go back to the well with Gawn or go with Marshall, I reckon, at this point. Set and forget.
Or even
stuff.
Yeah, even TDK potentially.
No, TDK, of course, yes. Yep. Showed his wares, and he's and I reckon Pitnet's going to play from next year, like in terms of being in the team at all, because unless, like we saw, and they kind of wised up when it was almost too late against like the big-bodied ruckman like Briggs and stuff, just play Pitnet and play TDK more up forward. Jonas, you've said McGovern full forward, maybe, but if that's the case, that would definitely restrict his scoring. McGovern brothers play on each other this week. Oh, unless you're talking about McGovern, good old Gov from Carlton playing full forward, which may be an option actually, yeah. Jason Prime, hey, loved Bagger's Edge. Well, thank you, mate. Thanks for tuning in, of course. It is my alternative, Blue Bagger's Edge channel. I had a nice chat, big yarn. It went for about 3 hours. We had an open mic night with supporters jumping on and just, I guess venting more than anything, but, reviewing the game against the Hawks, ins and outs, and what actually went wrong, which was a whole heap of stuff. And then we had Pommy and Oz, one of the absolute goats, content creators in the Carlton Baggers space. So that was a thrill to have him on, have a bit of a chat. You said, what's it say when you press off Marshall? Okay, well, at that point, I don't recall what it was, but most traded player, yep. Jack, where are you going in Bali? I have a 5-week holiday there before I moved to Norway. When me and my missus had done 6 months long distance. Jeez, full credit to you, mate. Love and miss the cheap beers and cocktail jugs. Yeah, we might have a few of those, mate. But looking forward to the weather, I think, more than anything, and just lounging on the beach. This is probably the 4th time we've been to Bali and Seminyak. But we're going to Canggu, I think it's called, which is just up north from Seminyak. But yeah, looking forward to that. Jono, Rowan, VC locked and loaded. Yep, get around the great man. Check out the minor premiership part of that SuperCoach. Okay. Just for you whilst you're here.
I can give you some insight because there might be a matchup.
Ooh, yes, Liam. Yes. What is it? Who is it?
It's me. It's your boy.
It is I.
It's
your boy.
Up against Rolling the Boat FC. Coming for you, Jono.
Yep. I think you might be up against it. Take it from me, who's lost the past 6 games consecutively against Liam in our head-to-head, Rowan. Unless you've got Xerri. Or you can get Xerri. Imagine if he's able to get Xerri in. You might have a chance. Jonas, maybe the AFL can bring in a minor premiership for St Kilda to have a crack. Oh, come on. Look at these, just all these barbs. Classic Jonas. Jack, each week I have this decision where I'm either playing Holmes or Raul as my M8 and loop player for M9. Have Raul E and he plays early and Holmes plays... who does the Cats play? I can't recall, but any thoughts on who to play?
Who do they play? I don't know.
Let me bring it up here. So the Cats play St Kilda on the last game on Saturday night. And Raul plays Melbourne.
Melbourne are giving away a lot of points to inside mids. The most points, 8.33 above their average.
Yep.
Wingers for Geelong. Sorry, St Kilda give away the most points, 17.23 against wingers. So I'd be looking, as you said, Rao plays first and plays early. See, if he scores well, I'd probably just take that. I'd not take the risk, personally.
Yeah, I would do the same thing, I think. Holmes
Rao
has
goes
been in some
100+,
ordinary form.
I'd almost take it.
Yep, I'd lock it in. Look at the recent form from Holmes as well. 71, 80, 69, and a 104 ding amongst them over his past 4. So, yeah, he hasn't been in the best run of form. Totally agree. I'd play Raul first up. He's kind of getting into a bit more form, and both favorable matchups. But yeah, go for Rowley playing up first, and then lock in if it's a ton, and then otherwise play Holmesy. Menza, thanks for joining us, mate. Won the prelim this week, waiting for the bye to see who I play. Waiting for the bye. I think you should be matching up. Unless how's his bloody league structured up then? He must have started finals a week later potentially.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know how that works. This is the gag amongst there that's just going over my head. Jack, I'm also in a shit position. Just realised I have no cover in forward line for Kerno. Oh no. If Dowling isn't named, would be playing 20 this week, which is the worst result in the prelim cash league. Oh shit.
So Dowling apparently had a really good game in the Sandful, so hopefully is back this week.
Oh, that'd be super handy. SuperCoach Pro. Good old Brad, here he is. Speaking about this bloke earlier on, speak the devil and he shall appear. Say his name. G'day lads, just finished work. Woo! Well done. Well done on just finishing work. Hopefully Fisher comes back and Richards is sub or dropped. That'd be very stiff for my side. I don't know what you mean there. Hopefully Fisher comes back. Okay, I don't know that, but bloody Kerno might give me a donut. Pity not a Krispy Kreme glazed one. Yeah, I know it's Kerno's pretty much out. Sorry, Brad. Unfortunately, but not that he's really going to help you at all anyway if he was playing, because such is the 450 entries by my midfielders. They're shit at Carlton. Jack, Brad's in the house. Like Shorty, the pants are off now. I just finished a 25-kilometre run. Gee whiz, look at you go. And I'm beyond fucked. My marathon is coming up. Geez, a marathon. Well done, Jack. All the best to your preparation and for running in that. Geez, I wish I could. My back would flare up and I'd be seizing on the ground within minutes if I was trying to run a marathon. Jonas, Brad the Milkman, legend. When's the next stream? Now they're just having a bit of a conversation. Oh, sorry. Brad meant and not sub, talking about referring to Richards, hence the reason why we were like, huh? What are you talking about? Yes. Brad, Jonas, been knocking off at 11 or midnight. So, I know, isn't it? If I finish at 10 during the week, I'll jump on. And then, Jono, you missed my previous message. What was it, mate? What, please?
Was.
We already went through. You might have missed it. You might have bloody frozen there, Jono, when you said check out the minor premiership part.
Because I'm coming for you, Jono.
Yep. That's virtually what he said. Coming. With the YouTube link. I don't know what you mean. Oh, was that the YouTube link that you sent me in the Discord? Let me just see if I can find it whilst I'll get you to read out the next comment.
Of course. SuperCoach Pro says, not the only thing that went large this weekend. Oh, come on, Damon.
Very good, very good. Set him up nicely there. No, I do have that. I do have that link as well, by the way, Jono. Thank you, mate. It's a YouTube video. Let me just play it in the back end. Oh, hold on. There's an ad. Okay, hold on. 1 second. I have to watch this ad. It's forcing me to. All right, ready?
I thought there was far worse players last week than Brad Otten's playing the game. And for some silly reason, you people want to assassinate him, and it's just rubbish. You people. All of you. All of you.
Oh, all of you. He's
It's rubbish.
doubling
Leave
down.
him alone.
Doubling down. That was incredible. Thank you for supplying that, Jono.
Up to channel Thompson there. All of you people, all of you people, all of you.
Just yeah. Just for context, of course, we're referring to Liam just tripping himself up and referring to the Supercoach Edge community, the viewers, the listeners as the you people. And so it's just been an ongoing gag. And yeah, you've been likened to Bomber Thompson now. And I love how he just doubles down and then triples down like all of you people, all of you. Jack's a big fan. That's a goated clip, he says. Jack, Brad, I've got to tell you, I was listening to the stream when I got sick the other night. She actually heard the comment when you said you should have put her in the doghouse. Referring to Jack's missus. I was definitely in the doghouse. Ha 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 ha. Slept on the couch. Look what you've done, Brad. Jonas, Liam, how tall are you? Got Short King Damo covered. I don't know why you think I'm that short. I am short, but I'm not like a certain Collingwood supporter short.
Oh.
No, that's just. I'm just talking facts. I know for a fact that we're both taller than Swoop, and I'm about 170. He's a great guy as well, by the way. Yeah, totally correct. I'm about 176, 177 centimeters. I think we're very similar, aren't we, Liam?
I don't know. I actually don't know how. I don't go and stand under a tape measure to see how tall I am anymore.
Well, you don't happen to walk around with a tape measure like next to you as you're walking down the street, just so people can
marks
look
on the wall that tells me how tall I am anymore.
Classic. Jonas, add that cut in for sure. I don't know what you mean there. Who's referring to Brad? I don't know. Getting defensive now. I don't know what he's talking about. Is Jonas trying to roll us up? I don't know. But it's not really working. I'm just really totally confused. No. Brad, you've said, haha, Jack, that's gold. Butters into church. I love how he just moves on. Like, sorry, I'll put you. Brad's just like, that's gold. Sorry, what my comment put you in the doghouse.
Yeah, don't give a shit. Just move on.
Yeah, and then that's gold. By the way, Butters into Xerri this weekend for me, VC and C. Very good. The master of deflection. Great work there, Brad. That is quite funny. Jono said, getting in your head, Liam, with your matchup against him.
I'm not getting in my head this week. I'm focused. You, Jono, and Adam.
More focused than ever. Jeez, how's about this? If you get the double, you get them like both in a headlock type thing. We'll have to do the Photoshop. Do that. Jack, Brad, aka Caleb Daniel, wishes he was 177. Yeah, cheers for the drive, right, Brad? Supercoach Pro, which footy coach would I be, lads? Current one. Nicole, thanks for joining us. Sorry, can you bloody provide a bit of sanity?
Yeah.
A bit of sanity to what's occurring. A bit of a amongst you people. She asked, is Kerno definitely out this weekend? I checked the injury list earlier today and it said he was a test. Yes, I think he's pretty much out. He's been ruled out by the club from what I've heard. So if he does play, I think it's going to be a big turn up. Big giveaway as well. If you look at the, even if you're not a betting person, if you look at the markets in terms of goal scorers, if a player's not listed, they normally, I don't know how it works. They probably have the AFL on the line straight up, but they've got wind that he's not playing because he's not in any of the goal scoring markets. So he's not playing, unfortunately. So hopefully you can cover him with a bit of bench cover, Nicole. Jack, I'm only playing. I love you, Brad. Yeah, all love here around these parts. But
question.
What's that?
Brad's asked a question of you.
Which one here? This one?
Yeah.
Which footy coach would I be? Probably a Bevo, I reckon. A bit unhinged, Brad.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Longmire's a bit unhinged at the minute.
Yeah, that's true. Good old horse. Good old horse head. Jack, Butters into Bont at this rate for me also. Tempted with the early game with Clark and Ryan down back. Yeah, a bit of a pod potentially. Wonder if she knows if Fisher is playing. What? What are you talking about? Who's he referring? Who's he talking to? Like,
Nicole,
is he talking?
Nicole. Your last name is Fisher.
Oh, that went straight over my head. Very good. Very good. That's good humour from you, Brad. Jack said Ross Lyon. That's actually not a bad call. Bevo, because of the guns. Yeah, exactly right. The guns. With that, Liam, I think we have to hit hay. So shall we wrap things up? And part of the reason being as well...
Not a flight to catch, a plane to fly.
Yeah, oh, sorry. I've got a plane to fly. Wait. I've got a plane to fly, as I put on my captain's hat again, with the anchor on the front. Liam, you need an asthma pump or something by the sounds of it, because I reckon you're cooked. But a bit of an announcement before we do our usual sign-offs. So I did mention it in my Team Talk video, and the top of the show I alluded to it, and this has kind of been the gags throughout me being a pilot of a plane, because I am heading to Bali actually at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, and we actually have to catch an Uber at 4 a.m. So the reason to wrap this up is I probably need to get some sleep and finish packing. So yeah, we'll be away for 10 days. So it means that I won't be available. But having said that, Liam, we're going to try and do a bit of a live. See how we go with the internet, with the Wi-Fi over in the hotels of Bali, Seminyak. And yeah, see if it can hold up and do a bit of our usual episode for the week. So that will be potentially next Tuesday, the 20th. Yeah, if that whatever works with you as well, then we have to sort of chat about it off stream. But yeah, we'll sort it out and see how we go and give it a bit of a crack, give it a whirl. And then I will be back on the 24th, the Saturday, and we will have a bit of a... will that be a wrap-up? Will that be a wrap-up episode? I'm kind of losing track now because this is heading into round 23. Next week we'll be heading into round 24.
Next week will be the grand final, yeah.
And then it'll be
and
our
the week
finale.
after will be the end. It would be.
Yep. So I'll be back in time for the finale, which we will be doing. Yeah, sad, but kind of a bit of relief as well. Because everyone's losing trades, everyone's getting injuries. Meanwhile, Liam, you're heading to the absolute moon. So of all people, you're just hoping you can continue.
Inverse.
Yeah. Jack has said, where can I buy that hat? My best mate is a pilot, and I'd love to take the piss and whirl it around him. Where can you get them? I can't even recall. Did you get them, or did Pistol Pete get them for us?
No, Pistol Pete got them for us. I've still got the tag on it.
So do I. You have to leave the tag because that's just the style at the time.
It's called Cape, which my favorite thing is the line here. Develop to enhance your outdoor adventures. In what world am I wearing this? To enhance my outdoor adventures.
Yeah, who's going on? Well, you know what? I might bring this. I'm going to pack this because I'm still deciding what hat do I take? Do I take the old SuperCoach hedge hat? You know, because it's going to be 29 degrees, quite sunny. Got to keep the sun off the old bloody chalk skin. Maybe this. Do this. Or maybe just double it. So I'll do like a bit of like an inspector. You know, see how we go. But yeah, try hand, eBay, all that sort of stuff. Rounding us out with some of the questions and comments. Jonas, have a great holiday. Damon, thank you, mate. Will do. Enjoy the flight, lads. You're going to be a co-pilot by the sounds of it, Liam. So thank you. I can't hear you. Have you got the mute on? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I just. Sorry.
Oh yeah. There we go. Jonas has said, "Thanks for all the hard work, fellas. Pleasure. Enjoy the holiday. Thank you, Jack. I'm ordering that online right now. There you go. Actually, that might be a bit of a if anyone wants it, we're able to maybe do a bit of a giveaway of one of these as well. If people are keen for captains, they don't want these SuperCoach Edge hat full of the head juice. They want one of these.
Head juice.
Good old head juice. Jonah said, watch out for the wallet inspector. Hey, that wasn't the wallet inspector. That's exactly what I'll be doing. Nicole, thank you as well. You've said enjoy Bali. Well, thank you. And Liam, just until I guess we reconvene whilst I'm abroad, where can the good folk, the you people of the SuperCoach Edge community find us?
You people should be following on socials. All of you people. All of you.
All of you. Just drive it home. All of you.
On YouTube, you can search SuperCoach Edge and don't forget to like and subscribe. All of you. On Twitter, at SuperCoach_Edge. David at DavidJ88. Myself at Liam Evans _95. And on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, you people can follow us on SuperCoach Edge. Also, just wanted to comment on the fact that, did you notice how we have a hell of a lot less technical issues than Donald Trump and Elon Musk in their little interview today?
Yeah, on what's it called? It's Twitter Spaces, I think it is.
Twitter Spaces, yeah.
I did see it and I tried to join in, but it was maxed out. So I was like, damn it, because I wanted to go in there and just take the piss. But didn't need to, as it turned out, as you alluded to there. First off, he sounded drunk. He was
Trump had a lisp.
Lisp. What was going on?
Yeah.
What was happening with it? The classic comment was he made about because Elon Musk was on there as well, of course. How could he not be? And first off, they had technical difficulties because, to quote Elon Musk in Twitter or X, they were hacked. It was nothing to do with the database of Twitter just falling through and couldn't handle the amount of people at one time in Spaces. And a classic comment from him, from Trump, was he was like, "I'm not worried about global warming because," he was like, "it means that property's going to have more waterfront, more waterfront properties because the sea's going to rise." I'm like, that's a good gag from you, good old D Trump, good old Donald. And
did you also hear his compliment of Kamala Harris?
No.
He thinks she looks like Melania Trump, so she's a good-looking lady apparently.
Oh my Lord. Imagine if they were going to have their political debate. Jesus Christ. He'd have to stay behind the bloody lectern. Mr. Trump, come out and shake hands. I can't do it. He's got a bit of a thing for his opponent. Oh, well, it's better than saying that that Biden reminds him of his wife.
That is true.
Yeah. Yeah, and as Jonas alludes to there, masturbate indeed. Jono, maybe we can organise a captain hat with SuperCoach Edge logo. Yes, potentially for next season we might do that. And maybe a crystal ball to go with it. But Liam, that rounds us out for round 22. And we are rounding the bend, approaching the final straight. So all the very best to those who have progressed through to Prelim Finals week of SuperCoach League Finals. May your trades hit the mark. And if you have any, of course, and your scores, head to the moon or Bali or Seminyak, or just we'll see you there. Take a break, have a Kit Kat, all that sort of stuff. We'll be back. Hopefully our Wi-Fi works in Bali, and we'll reconvene same time. Oh no, different time, same place. I'll be 2 hours behind, so we'll work something out, Liam.
We will.
Until then, we'll catch you next time. You swallowed a frog.
I'm literally died.
Have that asthma pump. Quick, get it out. Catch you guys.
See you guys.